You're a minute early. It's okay. Right on time.
It's not. I just give drive speed up.
Call this meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation, indivisible, with justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Mexico. You are the symbol of perfect friendship and united cultures.
Consideration of the agenda.
Motion, make a motion to approve?
Second.
No changes? We're good.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We have unscheduled correspondence and public comment, 3 minutes.
Melvin Colby?
Melvin?
Melvin Colby?
Melvin? Can you hear us? Are the mics on?
Yeah. Melvin? Melvin Reagan, you have COEBBI at the end. Oh, that's what you wrote. It's your turn. You're Melvin Reagan?
Yeah, Deb Reagan.
Oh,
That she does.
okay, so who's
So
gonna
can
go
I take her
first? You can
place
go
and-
first, yeah,
And then if she comes in, can she?
because
take
you're
her
also on
spot?
here. Go ahead.
Okay, well, good afternoon, you all. Thank you for having me. I just want to bring up our road condition. And we've been promised 2.5 years that something would happen. Every month I go and Deb Reagan also goes and asks what's happening. They've already told us they had funds a 1.5 years ago. But what's happening now is our road is getting the potholes on a dirt road. It's pretty hard to do that unless it's worn down so much. And now the way my driveway circulates and coming out, I'm also causing damage to my front tire to my car. It's already starting to squeak.
I don't mean to stop you, but we don't know what road you're talking
Oh,
about.
I am so sorry, Deborah,
What else?
Mayor. It's 108 Gallegos, Trailer A.
The cap. They haven't fixed the cap yet either.
Oh, okay.
They have arrowed, oops.
There you go, perfect. Thank you.
Something, but I'm not sure if that's for the paving. But they haven't really come down the street to see anything that's going on. And we've taken pictures, and when it rains, it really floods there. And Deborah has the pictures, but she has some other concerns because she has a water line, sewer line. Okay, well, this is the wrong folder that she brought, but what is that thing that's breaking? The water main on her property, on front of her property, that also has something to do with the paving, and it's broken and stuff. So we were just wondering, what is the time? Because we've asked Richard, and Richard did say that they were going to look into it. We asked that dirt would be dumped so that the potholes would be covered up. I've had to literally put gravel for my own yard constantly for 1.5 years now. And I didn't do it this year because I thought they were going to pave. But I think that's all that I have concerns on as far as our road. And here she comes, so I'll let her go ahead and take over on that. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Sabrina.
Your turn, Deborah. Good.
Fine, how are you?
Mr. Reagan?
Anyway, I'm here to talk about the sewer line. The cap is off because it's broken. It never was cemented in. And I literally watched, I've got pictures and everything, so if y'all need proof, I literally watched a delivery person step out from Amazon, stepped out of her car and was this close to getting her foot caught in it because now the lid won't even screw down. It's just sitting there. And she was this far, and I put the cone over it. Everybody runs over the cone. I mean, the UPS man drug it down the road a little ways, but, so it's...
Yeah.
It's a danger, it's a hazard, somebody's gonna break an ankle. And
stinks.
as clumsy as I am, I don't want it to be me. So, but I have pictures and everything, and then I also have pictures of our
Can I ask you
street.
a favor?
Yes,
Could I keep this?
I made you a copy, ma'am.
Make him a copy? Okay.
I made everything. I just bring it, I'll just bring everything I made you.
Thank you so much.
ma'am.
In color too. Thank you.
Did you give her the street too?
The street, yeah, there's a picture of how bad our street is. When it rains, we have very deep ruts. And I've been emailing, calling, texting for 2 years now. And I knew the sewer was going to be a problem because the cap, you can't put it on. It won't, I mean, it's gone. It's broken down. And I knew it was going to be a problem, and it's a health hazard because now we can smell everybody's business, which is not fun. But anyway, that's what we wanted to talk to you about, is fixing our street and fixing that. Most importantly, as quickly as possible, fixing that sewer line before a UPS or somebody steps in and breaks an ankle.
We did do preventive maintenance. We put some
Not concrete, but gravel.
compacts,
Compact,
contractors dirt.
yeah,
And some gravel.
When
to
it was
keep
first done, because we thought, they would come and fix it. So we did that at first to try to help, but it's been 2 years.
Okay.
7 seconds.
Oh, I got 7, I don't.
Thank you for your.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know.
Lieutenant Kimmons?
Well, this one's.
Get tomorrow.
Afternoon. Since the chief couldn't be here, he wanted me to give a little brief presentation of kind of what's going on with the police department. As everybody know, we had a little incident at the school. Some greedy was found talking about, shooting up the school on today's date. Reached out to the state police and Otero County Sheriff's Office. Man, they were great help with man support today. Everything went down without a hitch. So kind of glad that we're kind of rebuilding that reputation with them, that they have no problem helping out. There were 6 of them in town, and they just kind of switched out every few hours. Help us out with the school while I could take calls. Also, he wanted me to mention, I guess shootings in town. The only one that we've had lately was on West Second Street. It was handled by the sheriff's office. They interviewed and ran several subjects, but could not prove of the shooting. So they are backing us up. They are helping out. And we're trying to keep more track of when shootings like that do occur. Because sometimes there's no telling how many that happen that don't get reported. So we're going to hopefully get the community involved to where they do report it more often. Another thing I want to bring to everybody's attention, I got pictures for y'all.
Thank you.
Traffic stuff.
I'll get back to the mic, even though I got a big mouth. Last Wednesday evening, at approximately about 7, 8 o'clock, Officer Jarman made a traffic stop on a reckless driver. Upon running the individual had warrants. Upon asking him to step out of the vehicle, as he opened the driver's door, the first picture, that is fentanyl. $10 a pill. Don't ask me how many pills are there, because I ain't touching it. I'm figuring that's probably $250,000 worth of fentanyl. Upon searching the rest of the vehicle after his arrest, and that the fentanyl was found, as soon as you open the door, it was right there by the driver's seat, right there in plain view, man, as big as day. And you can't mistake that blue color. We also located, it wasn't stolen, but there's a picture of a shotgun. And the location in that picture is exactly where it was found. And it was loaded. Now, the third picture after that, and why this kid had it, is a bulletproof vest. But he's not a felon. And that was just off a traffic stop. So I contacted, I'm sorry if I go over.
You're good.
I contacted the narcotics unit commander. He was the only one in town, and man, he came down, helped us out with a lot of stuff, gave us a lot of great information. He was just arrested on the warrants for that night, but we're still working on our reports to file the oncoming charges for drug possession.
What about did for
Getting
pertaining to
charged with
sales and distribution?
That's kind of what we're looking at, because that's more than self-consumption. I did make some inquiries, because a lot of times if there's a firearm involved, you can go federal with it. Contacting some federal agencies, right now, they don't feel we have enough criteria, but we do have with the state. But we're going to take our time with this, make sure we get it right. Even the commander said that when we get ready to send the narcotics to the lab, they'll transport them for us, because they make a lab run weekly. So he's like, just call us. He said, we'll pick them up and we'll take them to the lab for you. So that was the biggest thing out of last week. The week prior, just kind of let y'all know, myself, Dean, and Gordon completed the crisis intervention training in the city of Alamogordo. So now we have a lot additional contacts that we have made. And on a couple situations that we've already had to use a couple. One thing with a lot of the natives and being intoxicated, they have a counselor now that we can contact, and he's got a direct line to one of the directors to where he can help us take them to the hospital, and they immediately go into detox. And they can start helping them get off of it at the time.
I have a question for you, Lieutenant. How is the park situation since the bus stop has been removed from the park over there?
Man, it's been great. I mean, we're still getting calls, but nothing quite like it used to be. Now, the more calls we get is people sleeping in the park. We've been going out after 9 o'clock, and y'all got to go. You can sleep somewhere, but you can't sleep here. But it has helped tremendously.
I can't take complete credit for that. That was a joint effort between Muscalero, myself, and Zia Bus Company. And we all three made the decision that the best place for that it just needs to go away. And now if anyone's interested, the new stop is right there by First National Bank.
So, but it has helped tremendously. Now it's just getting the new batch that are coming down to say, hey, these are the rules, this is how it's going to be, and be done with it. All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, can I make a real quick comment? The Neighborhood Watch program is really doing well too as well. So a lot of these criminals are aware of what's happening, so they're treading lightly, so to speak. So I want to commend Chris and the group for the Neighborhood Watch program.
Chris and Rusty have been really active, and plus our people that roam the streets at night, we have to give a big hand. And, you know, our Neighborhood Watch, things have really calmed down. I don't think we've had any break-ins, have we, lately, that I can think of. So, you know, that sure beats like 9 and 10 and 12 a week that we were having, so. You know, and it's nice because, as you guys know, we're still trying to build our police department, and I think we have some terrific officers right now. We've got some terrific ones coming in, but we still need a few more. And if anybody knows anybody that would like to become a police officer, please send them towards our chief or our lieutenant. Number 2, or is there any more public comments? I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
we're good.
Number 2, Jeff Rhodes, attorney, is asking to go into executive session as per section 1015-1 of the Open Meeting Acts.
Just a limited personnel matter,
Oh, what?
a limited personnel matter.
Okay. We need to,
I think.
yes,
if you would.
okay.
Make a motion to go into executive?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, roll
All
call.
those
Bruce
in-
Wallace,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Garwood,
Aye.
Sines,
Aye.
6:15.
Listen to the mayor of Fox. Yeah, misunderstood what was said, but it sounded like they were saying that they got the grant. Uh, Caleb.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, it's 5 days. It's kind of weird.
No way, he just turned it in on the 15th.
Yeah, so I was like, I contacted the lady that's doing that. I said, y'all haven't already made a decision. She said,
No.
no.
Because you would have got it, whatever contact information you put.
Yeah.
We'll get either that we didn't get it or we did get it.
That's what
So
we
they'll
hear.
let, yes,
They'll
they
let
will
us know.
definitely let you know. Yeah.
I just don't, I've done
Right,
things
right.
where they don't tell you. And you go,
Or they'll post, they will do like a mass email to the people that did apply and they'll say who did get the grant. And then if your name is not on there.
then you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, full 40. This is the perfect space to keep it. What I need is, I need this middle section. And it's not yeah. Yeah, maybe.
That was like. I like my dad. Oh, yeah, yeah.
The rest of them go. Yeah. You want to make a motion? Can I get a motion to resume meeting?
Make a motion to resume meeting?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call, Bruce Wallace,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Garwood,
Aye.
Science.
Aye.
6:32.
Item number 4, rubric. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, this was, no decision was made. Executive session, there was no decision made. Number 4, Rebecca Bryant, Village Clerk, is asking to approve the appointment of Karina Duran as MVD Clerk at the pay rate of $16 an hour.
So as you know, Karina started with us July 1 to replace Judith Aguirre. So she's been with us a little about a month and a half. I would have put her on last month's agenda, but I needed to see if she passed all the tests and stuff through the state to make sure everything was good. So she's been on her own for a little over 2 weeks now, going on 3, and she's doing a phenomenal job handling our rush. We're so busy and overwhelmed here because Ruidoso is still not open, Cloudcroft is shut down, Alamogordo is appointments only, so everybody comes over here. So it's been good for her to get all that experience, so she's doing very well, so.
This time I'd like to approve the appointment of Karina Duran as the MVD clerk at a rate of $16 an hour.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Number 5, Warren Candelaria, Chief of Police, is asking to approve the appointment of Jeremiah Chavez as Animal Control Officer at the pay rate of $14.50.
Unfortunately, Jeremiah couldn't be here because he started a welding class today after work. But he is a resident of Tularosa, recently graduated from Tularosa High School. And he worked for the school as maintenance under a contract, but they lost the contract, so he could not go back to work. He's been advised, he's always tried to help the community. And he even mentioned that he's been involved with the fire department of the village since he was 6 years old as a junior member. Mr. Chavez stated that he wouldn't have any issues with like any kind of animals, aggressive people. And he even stated, you know, if he got somebody he could not control, then he would call on us to control the person while he took care of the animals. And he has currently started working on getting his ACO1 certification. So that is one thing that is a must. Over the last couple of weeks, he's been working real close with Officer Lester, and he's adapted pretty good. He's kind of picked up things, and He's been kind of running everything this week with Dean in the pickup beside him. And when it comes to his reports, Dean lets him write them, double checks them, and then either me or Chief will look at them. And reports, man, it's just gonna take time. He's just gonna have to learn to write them, and, you know, that's why we're there for, to help him out on the reports. We look forward to having him on. I wish he was here that way he can kind of talk to you and y'all can kind of put a face with a name, but I understand, you know, you're starting a welding class, man, go to it, we'll take care of this.
Do you feel confident in him, Lieutenant?
What's that?
You feel confident with him?
I do.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Number 6, Warren Candelaria, Chief of Police, is asking to approve the appointment of Andrew Yarbrough as a part-time animal shelter attendant at the pay rate of $13.50 an hour.
Okay. Andrew? He is here.
Come on up.
This is for the part-time kennel. He's been doing a good job. I've been out there a couple times while he's been cleaning. And he is a resident of Tularosa, plans on being here for a little bit. I'll kind of let him tell y'all his background.
Hello, I'm Andrew Yarbrough. I'm glad to have started in this position. I'm working on getting my veterinary technician's degree, my associate's so far. I've come from a year in clinical background and I enjoy working with animals and I want to keep doing that as I work through school, and this is the perfect job to do that.
Mr. Yarbrough, I know your family. So, and part of your family took very good care of my husband when he was sick, so anybody else got any questions? Okay,
The accreditation that he's working on is a national accreditation. It's not just for the state of New Mexico, it's national.
Yeah.
How many hours per week are you going to work, Andrew?
They have me working so far Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday for 4 hours a day.
Perfect. Okay.
There are no more questions, so move.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Number 7, Rebecca Bryant, Village Clerk, is asking for the approval of resolution number 2024-2025-4 regarding annual membership dues to the contribution of the amount of $1,000 for the SNMEDD-COG.
So this is just our yearly agreement with the Southern New Mexico Economic Development District. They kind of help us, they're our fiscal agents for a lot of our grants that we do. So this is just a contract saying that they provide certain services for us. We have to get a resolution passed, that way it's in compliance with them. But yeah, that's it.
I'm going to make a motion to approve this resolution.
You need a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Rebecca Bryant, Village Clerk, is asking for the approval of the Help New Mexico contract along with the supplemental attachment 1A to the Help New Mexico contract dated July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2026.
This contract hasn't changed anything other than adding the supplemental attachment 1A, which is the extra room that they're going to be utilizing. They were trying to do it last year, but they couldn't get it done in time. So this contract is from July 1 through June 30th, 2026. We do a 2-year contract with them. So, and this one is with the supplemental attachment 1A. So that's it. Everything stays the same. The monthly payments, rental, maintenance agreements, everything are still the same.
I think it's a great program.
Definitely.
Could I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Chris Rupp, Planning and Zoning, is asking for approval for Efren Gonzalez of 23D Old Muscalero Road to remove and replace a mobile home at that address.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board.
Tonight I'm coming for you as the Planning and Zoning Chair. Recently, we had an application from Mr. Efron Gonzalez, who is also here tonight, if you have any questions for him as well. He has asked us, he's replacing his mobile home at his residency as now at 203D Old Mescalero. It's a brand-new trailer that's coming in, so we don't have to worry about any of that. It's going to be going the exact same place where he has his current single-wide, and there's ample enough rooms on both sides, actually all sides, for it to be in compliance with the required offsets from the zone. So the board's recommendation is for approval, pending your guys' approval. Thank you.
And is the old trailer being removed completely, not being left there?
No, it's going to be removed completely.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Number 10, Chris Rep, Planning and Zoning, along with Baxter Patillo of Alamo Terrell Land Surveys are asking for the approval of a Monterey Edition replat A, blocks 16, 17, 18, West 3rd Street, Tucker, Hooper, and Bean Blossom.
Thank you again, guys. We have Mr. Baxter. He's going to be going ahead and passing out all the information regarding the plats. The board had met with him at our hearing, having a lengthy discussion with him about it. The board's recommendation would be to approve the recommendations on this. But again, we have Mr. Baxter Portillo here to go ahead and speak to you on that. That way you guys get a complete understanding of this as well.
Good evening, trustees. Thank you for having me. This first plat that I have before you is a replat of the Monterey Edition within the village limits. This is for the Hooper, Bean Blossom, Tucker, Danley, and Cedillo compound, and this is right next to the high school, and they have portions of the property deeded to them from the village for the roads and alleys within that block. They're looking to replat with agreed upon consent of all 5 owners for 3 tracts of land, as you see here. One for 5 acres, one for 1.471 acres, and one for 2.754 acres. And this would be a replat procedure, and I would entertain any questions.
No. No, looks good.
And Chris, and planning and zoning is
Yes.
is up with this?
Yes, sir.
No
Yeah,
problem?
we've had a lengthy discussion with him that day at the meeting regarding it, and he was able to satisfactorily answer all of our questions we had regarding it and the concerns for the village's behalf.
So there's three other owners, and they're all in agreement on this?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
You bet. Yes, there are 5 owners by deed, and they all agree and consent. This was a family decision they made.
Okay. Any more questions?
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Good.
Motion passed. Number 11,
Do you need these back?
I'll drop these off as well.
Oh, okay.
Again, we have Mr. Patil here tonight. This is in regards to,
just a minute, Chris. Number 11, Chris Rep, Planning and Zoning, along with Baxter Patillo of Alamo Terrell Land Surveys are asking for approval of family exemptions of the extraterritorial jurisdiction on Galicia Road. You're fine.
Mayor, members of the board, once Mr. Portillo is done passing out the new plots for you guys to observe, I'm going to let him go ahead and talk about that first, and then we'll just finish up with me coming back up and talk to you about the Planning and Zoning Board's outcome. Thank you.
All right, this next plat I'm bringing before you is a family transfer division in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of Tularosa. This is on Galicia Road and Galicia Way, and the Silva family is looking to Exercise the Otero County Claim of Exemption number 7 for a family transfer for one tract of land per one family member. The lot created would be Lot 2 for their son Levi Silva. That will be the 1.309 acres and have the ingress, egress, and utility easement as shown in that rectangular box there that we will label accordingly. And I would entertain any questions. Correct, yes, sir.
So just extraterritorial.
Yes, sir, within that 3 miles.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Number 12. Chris Rep, Planning and Zoning is asking for approval of the closure of Granado Street on December 7th, 2024 for the evening to allow for a street dance. Also asking if Public Works and Fire Department can approve barricades and manpower for the side streets traffic control for the parade on this above mentioned date.
Thank you, Chris, I appreciate it.
Good
Mr.
evening,
Rep.
Mayor, members of the council.
Mr. Rep, before you start, this is not a planning and zoning, right?
No, it's not. I don't know if it was a typo.
Yeah, I was just in sync with the rest of them.
Yeah, it was just, I was on here so
Okay,
much
so
tonight.
announce to the public
Yes,
for what
yes,
it is.
I am here as a representative for the Kiwanis Club for our Christmas festival here tonight. I was going to address that because I was like, wait, no, planning and zoning has nothing to do with this one. Anyways, we are asking for assistance from our Public Works and our Fire Department to help us on the day of December 7th with some manpower to help direct traffic and also with help with barricades on our side of our cross streets going down the highway. And we're also actually asking for some closure on Granado Street for that night. During the day, we want to keep that open because as we've been going along, talking to our businesses, our local businesses, we're encouraging them to stay open during this time and in order to help hopefully facilitate some extra business for them as well here. And we don't want to restrict that unless we have to at least the bare minimum. So again, we're going to be asking for that night. That way when we handle the street dance, that way we have a safe environment for everybody to go out here and be dancing on it and not have to worry about that. We did reach out to, like I said, to the State Highway Department. And again, a lot of that is, since it's our side roads, they're not going to be able to help us with too much, but they said if we needed to get a hold of them to help to see if they have some extra barricades or something, they would see what they have to assist us as well as that. Again, it's, I did talk briefly to the fire chief about this event, not only them participating, but they said they'd be willing to help us with whatever we might need them. So again, similar to the whole scenario of the luminaries, that they participate and help us with traffic control. In that sense, we'll be asking for our fire department to help us in that sense as well. Our whole idea is here to make this a very safe environment for this event, for our community, bring awareness to our community, and just make it a great day for our community. And it's going to be our day to shine. But again, some of these things are just out of our control as just a small organization. And again, as we always talk about, we need a community to raise a community. So again, we're asking for assistance if at all possible from Public Works, Fire Department, and from the village. Thank you.
So how many vendors do you have?
Excuse me?
How many vendors do you have committed?
You know, right now, committed, I have 3. There's time still to go ahead and do. I have like 3 or 4 that have already signed in and signed it. I've probably sent out already at least 40 different packets to individuals. The cutoff date is going to be November 1st. The reason we did to November 1st is because there's a lot of things that transpire between now and then, obviously, but that gives us a good date exactly how many vendors we're going to have. I did talk to Ms. Yates about that as well. The original plan was still using that old building there, but if we have any overflow, we're going to use that empty lot that's right beside that property. Mm-hmm. That way we can keep our streets open and everything and help give parking as well as more opportunities for our local businesses as well.
And the street dance, are these volunteers that are gonna be playing? or-
Yes, so far, right now, we have a commitment for sure from one of our local bands here. He's donating his time as well. The second one, we did get approached by as well, because they have mutual respect for each other. We did talk about possibly splitting it up that night, and they said that they would discuss that amongst themselves to see which was easiest for them, because again, we're not the artists, they are, and I know there's a lot of work that goes into that. So we're working very closely on that as well with them. But again, we do have a band locked in place. We also we've got approval to go ahead and string some Christmas lights, but they're not Christmas lights, they're going to be white lights over Granado Street for that day, to help also bring some just a good ambience that night for our dance and everything to help leave it up. Our intent is we're going to try setting it up on the beginning of December. That way we can put that whole street that month in that Christmas feel. And Mr. Hilton had also, he's gone ahead and he secured us some speaker systems for that day. During that day, we're going to be playing Christmas music on Granado Street for the whole day, just to go ahead and get that good vibe in. We've had some radio stations that we've been in talk with, and they're seriously considering coming down and doing live feeds from our event for that day, as well as participate in our parade and in our dance as well.
I had a question for you, Mr. Rupp. The parade, is that going to be a 6 o'clock parade, a 5 o'clock parade, or?
It's going to start at 6. We have our vendors from 9 to 5 that day, and that gave us that hour break. We figured that hour would help us be able to set up our barricades that we needed to help close everything off, but also if any of the vendors were actually to partake in the parade itself or just want to visually go to it. So we have the parade starting at 6.
Will you be using the highway during the parade at all, like the high school does?
Yes, we do. We'll be starting at the Y over here. That'll be our staging area.
Y?
Yeah, we have our state permit for complete highway shutdown. A lot of people think we're going to get it, but we got it. And they'll come straight down St. Francis right here in front of Town Hall, go to the light. Once they hit the light, we'll have them take a left. They'll be heading to the schools where they hit the 4-way stop sign. Once they cross that intersection and completely clear it, they'll be able to go over to the schools and disembark, and that'll be part of the rules that we have set up, is there'll be no getting off floats or anything until they hit the schools.
You plan on having floats or just vehicles, or?
Excuse me?
Well, you can have floats or vehicles?
We'll have floats.
A little
we'll
bit
have
of
vehicles.
everything?
Yeah, we
Christmas
are
parade?
encouraging anybody and everybody. We don't want this just to be businesses that come in. If families want to come in and do their own floats for their family, we encourage that. We are in the process of reaching out to the schools as well, to all the FAAs, 4-H's.
4-H and.
Yeah, I mean, everything, because again, our whole intent is to bring our community together. We're actually talking about, as well as a group, of having quote unquote a king and queen from each grade participate on a float form as well, to get recognition for our kids. And again, that's something we're still working on that as well. But again, we're trying to get an event here that brings everybody here. You know, we don't want to just singleize one little part of what we have here. We want participation from everybody. So the more that we can get here to participate in the parade, the better it's going to be for us.
So State Highway Department's up with this? We're good on DMV, or? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I reached out with them and we're good.
Starting at what time? 5? So you're going to shut down the highway starting at 5 o'clock?
About 5:45.
Till about 7?
But we are scheduled till 7:30.
Okay.
So I talked to them because I said, I don't know exactly. I mean, we could have 5 floats.
Yeah.
We could have 500 floats. So we really don't know. It's the great unknown at this time. And that's why we don't have a set time starting for the dance. It's just when the parade ends.
When it ends.
Yeah,
okay.
so we kind of try to limit that.
Super idea.
Yeah, and again, we are reaching out to some of our outlying communities as well. And we did kind of reach out to Ruidoso because of their events that they've had recently. As of right now, they're still scheduled to have their events, but they don't know if they're actually going to happen or not. So we opened up the door to them, and we told them we'd love to have them here as well. Mescalero has been very appreciative of what we've been asking for them. So we got a lot of stuff in the works for that day. It's just now getting it all come together and just make this thing happen and make it great.
And no candy being thrown off the,
No candy thrown from the floats, no. I know.
Is that
yeah.
a, is it? December-
Insurance nowadays is, yeah.
you can help me walk the parade and give out candy, okay?
December 7th, is that a Friday or Saturday?
Excuse me, it's going to be on Saturday.
Saturday, December
Yes.
7th, okay.
Yeah, so that's the good thing about it. It's going to be an all-day event for our community, and hopefully, like I said, bring a lot more business and just awareness to our community that we have.
What about our businesses on the Granado? Have you spoken with them on the?
Yes, we have. We actually have some volunteers that are going around. We have packets specifically designed for our local businesses as well, explain to them what our deal is going on that day, our festival event, what we'd like for them to do, such as have extended business hours for that day as well. We're asking them for help them to self-decorate in front of their stores that day for we can all have that, hopefully all Granado decorated in a Christmas theme for this event as well. So they go around, they get an introduction packet, they get a vendor pack if they want to have an extra table over there, they can. And we also actually have out a float packet that we send out with them with the waivers for them as well to sign. And part of that is if there's also ones for donations. So we've received so far about $1,200 in donations. With that, if a business or an individual group wants to go ahead and donate to this event, then we'll waive their application fee for the parade itself.
Can you tell us about the donations? That you received?
Okay. Yeah, we received a very substantial donation through many phone calls and a lot of emails back and forth. There was a couple right now at this time, they do not wish to be named at this time. But through our conversations, he grew up here in Tularosa. He went to school here. He believes where he's at now in his life is because of his upbringing here in Tularosa. He is very happy to see what Tularosa is doing right now with our neighborhood watch, this festival event, and so on and so forth. And although he likes to go ahead and give out some donations here or there, this year he's agreed to a $1,000 donation. All we have to do is make sure that money goes to this event. And I just have to keep relaying the information back to him where this money is actually going. And then he said if we are successful this year, they will look in the future for future higher donations. So it's nice to see people that have grown up here that are no longer here still have that attachment to our community and still willing to be part of it even though they can't be here. So it's outstanding.
I think it's great. I think, I'm looking around, I'm looking at the Tularosa duck race. Now we got the trunk or treat coming up in October. Now we got the parade and the street dance in December. So, yeah, I make a motion to approve before he backs out.
Get a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
So Saturday, December 7th.
Number 13, Rusty Hilton, Keep Tularosa Beautiful, is asking for approval of a proposal for repainting of the water tanks.
And I'm not sure if y'all know Jen or not, but
What's that?
she's gonna help me
Okay.
present.
I thought she was a painter.
You
Okay.
mean she just doesn't abuse Mike? He abuses you too?
You too, huh?
She's gonna do all the talking. They only give you one color copy. I have to do it on front and back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's okay if you. Or you're good.
I don't vote.
Basically what I did is I asked the local artists to provide me with a sketch of, as far as what they, I told them what they needed to have as far as it should embody well, you do it.
So Jen Gruger and I'm representing 100% Otero here tonight. I am co-chair of the medical dental sector. And the mural project is intended to really bring the community together in a project that sort of elevates the idea that we can end childhood trauma. So the criteria that the artists need to meet are, something that demonstrates what this community is like, and Rusty has some descriptions in there. But they do also need to incorporate the 10 sectors, and those 10 sectors are what 100% Otero does in the community. So we have a food, housing, transportation, medical, dental, behavioral health. Those are the surviving sectors. Those are things our children, our families have to have in order to survive. And then we have thriving sectors, and those are the ones that are about parent supports, early childhood learning, community-focused schools, youth mentoring and job training. So there are people in the community that are working on each of those elements, and the mural is designed to try to bring all of those things together to help anybody observing the mural understand that this community is rallying around its families and its youth. From a 100% Otero perspective, I am here to say we feel like we have not really tapped into all of the things we can and could be doing for Tularosa, so we're looking forward to expanding more of the 100% Otero effort in this area. But Rusty has been a trooper in trying to get the mural moved forward. So I can tell you guys are really enjoying the sketches. There's some really great contributions there. So I'm really just here to answer questions about the 100% Otero side. I'll leave it back to Rusty where he kind of is in the process.
Okay. I originally had 9 interested artists from Tularosa and Mescalero. I gave them a deadline, I gave them an application sheet and stuff to turn in. When it came to the deadline, I only had one of them actually turn it in. So I gave them an extension. I ended up with 4 local artists that submitted an idea. I also talked to Mr. Gutierrez at Mescalero Schools. They didn't start school till the 12th, but they're going to be getting basically design ideas from their school, their students, and we're going to award to the best design that they come up with. We're going to give them a gift. How's that? You've never had that happen, have you? I'm going to give them a gift basket. The one from Tularosa Middle School that we have in the packet, there's a little miscommunication on my part, so I'm going to end up having to supply Tularosa Middle School with a pizza party.
Worse things have happened.
Yeah, so, yeah, but anyway, the drawing they came up with is basically, it includes it's trying to embody the ideas of community for Tularosa and the history of Tularosa. We've got pictures from Far Baker. We've got pictures from Caitlin Carpenter, Justin Howe, and Dan, our own Dan Pilgrim. So I think we've got some quality art or quality ideas. I haven't presented this to 100% Otero. I'm still supposed to meet with them again, but I'll let you know how that goes. I've secured, I believe, 4 bids on prepping the tank and getting it ready for the murals. And one of them is, I talked to Cunningham, they're out of Joplin, Missouri. They just said, hey, we'll start at 700,000 and go up. That's to prep the tank and paint it, get it. I was like, did you say 700? Yeah. And I go, yeah, that's what we're going to start at, but it may cost more than that. I was like, holy cow. Do you realize I don't know. Anyway, I don't think they're really serious about doing it. I've got a couple other bids. One of them from contractor in El Paso, and he came down and actually looked at the tank. He's one of two contractors that actually looked at the tank. His bid is still pretty high. It's 100, I can't remember, 130,000 or something like that. But he thinks that we can, we don't have to sandblast the entire tank. We can power wash part of it. There's some areas around where not the scaffolding, but the stairs and some of the connections that are gonna have to be sandblasted. But he says there's no reason to sandblast the whole thing. We can power wash it and get this, the paint still in good enough condition to where we can do that and then paint over it. And they give us a price for that. I've got another contractor from Farmington. His bid is in the $360,000 range. He didn't come down, but he's one of the 5 top contractors in the United States. So I know he does quality work. I've seen a lot of his references and stuff. The thing that bothers me about the gentleman from Albuquerque that came down recently, should I tell him that?
Oh, it's in the packet.
Yeah, it's in the packet. He asked me, basically texted me and asked me what he needed to do to ensure that he got the contract. He said, what financial motivation would I need to ensure that he got the contract? And I said, excuse me?
Just tell him you'll take 50%, okay?
I was like, well, I told him, I said, I'm a nobody. I'm just trying to help out and get this thing done. Anyway, I kind of, plus he's got 3 mobile, supposedly he says he has sufficient resources to do the job, but I'm a little uncertain on that. He's got 3 mobile units that sandblast, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do what we need done. But I submitted his bid also. That's where we are right now. I've taken 2 contractors over there to look at the tanks. They're still in pretty decent condition. The tanks were last painted, if I'm correct, in 2001. The person that did the mural in there, I'm having a little trouble as far as verifying whether he's still alive or not. So I was thinking about possibly just redoing the mural that we had on there. But again, I haven't been able to make contact with him.
So would it be a lot less expensive if you would have to not sandblast the whole tank?
Oh, definitely.
Well, and if I may, Rusty, I also would propose, I see value in repainting the tanks for sure, but perhaps the 100% mural project could go on a different surface, and we can take a different approach with the tanks. Just throwing that out there as an idea. Part of the reason I proposed that is that part of the 100% intention is that youthful artists, students, are also involved in the actual application of the image on the surface. So imagining kids scaffolding and so on feels uncomfortable. I'm not saying that we couldn't go this other route, but preparing the surface is one challenge. Involving the community and actually executing the painting itself is another.
So here's the reason, and point me to, if I'm wrong, let me know, board, okay? The reason we couldn't have students do that is because if one of them falls off, one of them gets hurt, then we're liable.
Right, no, exactly.
And we're asking people that are doing the murals to be bonded
and insured.
And insured on their own. They've got to have their own business license. They have to give it all to Rebecca, and so that we are not responsible for if that person falls off and kills himself or breaks a leg or anything else, because that's the last thing that we need for the village. And that's the only reason we don't want students to do it, is for that very reason. We would be liable as partners.
Do you mean to say, Mayor, that if we do switch to a different surface, let's say it's, where the Tularosa mural is now, at Higuera. So that's accessible on the ground So if adults would do the top, but students might do the bottom, are you saying that you would not want them to participate in that such scenario either?
I figure
It
it's
is
a,
different than
Yeah.
what we
It's
talked
different
about.
than the tanks,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
getting to the tanks themselves, getting around the tanks, it's not that easy. You know, it's not like you standing right up there and doing the mural on the road.
Not
you
at
know,
all,
it-
right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your ideal, I really do, but I think we've got to go with the bonded professional person that does that. And that's not because I think they're any better than the students. I just think for safety, for us, to protect our village, that would be the better thing to do.
If the painting is done on the tanks.
Well, now, have you thought of this idea? Maybe have them actually do the painting on a smaller version and then have a company transfer that to have them do it, the company do it, transfer the art to the tank.
That would be very, very doable. We could pick one of these artists, if the students submitted what they wanted to do, we'd like to see more. I mean, this is nice, but we'd like to see what students could do. Kids have bigger vision sometimes than we do, you know? And we'd like to see what the kids do. You could have them draw it out, and we could use that as the format to put on the tanks. That's a perfect idea, Mark. That's a perfect idea.
Yeah, see, I know Far Baker's done a lot of murals up in Ruidoso and all that. And what he does is he'll take the image off of the actual small picture and he'll project it onto whatever he's gonna paint. So we could also look into maybe a company that would have an applique that they can make a huge applique that they just put on there.
Right.
So that's an idea for you
Or
guys.
have the artist, whatever artist we choose, to paint the mural of what that child has put out. I mean, I think that's a great idea so that we could get the kids involved. I don't want to exclude them, but at the same time, I know they can't paint. I mean, it's just too dangerous, you know? And if you're talking about just doing one, you know, you're talking about not maybe sandblasting all the whole tank, just the area where you're gonna do the mural, is that what you're talking about?
Actually, the prices and stuff I've got for basically repainting both tanks. The one that's 2 million, which is the one on the Tularosa side, and the one that's 1 million gallons, which is the one with the murals on it. I kind of got, she said, "Would you like this project?" And I said, "Sure, I'll take it." So I didn't realize what I was getting into, and I was
Elsie, she gave you the sticker patch, huh?
yeah, I was like, "Hey, this smells funny. You want it?" I was like, "God." But I had a lot of trouble getting contractors to even, they didn't even know where New Mexico is, I don't think, much less Tularosa.
Well, you just should have told them, hablo inglés.
But I was a little disappointed on that. I thought more people would actually be interested in helping us out, but
Well, and sorry, again to interrupt, but the other challenge with the tanks is the cost, right? The expense. The 100% Otero contribution is limited, I'm quite sure, I don't know what the dollar amount is, but to the expenses that are related directly to the painting. So the paint, the materials, and so on.
that's just the mural. That's not of the entire tank.
Which is not to say that we couldn't put some effort into finding grants or, other funding sources, but unless you have it in your budget to sandblast the tanks.
No, that's the reason why I'm doing it.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
No, we do not have that, but we can direct you, maybe Rebecca, you can direct them to, I knew that the New Mexico Municipal League has a lot of grants available. I don't know what, would it be under the recreation or would it be? Yeah. And maybe I'll put a feeler out, I'll give a call to them and see what kind of grant we could direct you to. And see what we can do, you know?
The municipal league is really helpful to us now. It's not like in the past. They're offering us a lot of help with whatever we need. So they have a bunch of different people that do different entities with the state. So they're really, really helpful with us now. So we can reach out to them. They want us to reach out to them. So the meetings we've been going to are very integral in trying to get things done in Tularosa, and they're willing to help us a lot. So we're going to reach out to them more often, as well as NDOT and SERPTO. So just to give people an idea that we're trying to get things done on stuff like you guys want to do. And we're getting a lot of ideas from different communities throughout the state that go to those meetings. So it's really been really nice to go to those because we're learning a lot and we're learning ways to do things that aren't a normal way to do things. So
There's a lot of $50,000 grants out there, like through Verizon and stuff like that, that are reachable too. You know, you might have to get 3 or 4 grants, you know?
One thing I didn't tell y'all, I've contacted a lot of other municipalities, Las Cruces, Elephant Butte, Belen, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and talked to some of the artists that they've used. And I've actually talked to 2 of the artists that did the tanks in Las Cruces and the one in Elephant Butte. And, but then we're also looking at, they want to use, in 100% Otero, we would like to use Otero artists. And these people are not from Otero. So, we may just have to do several projects.
Yep.
Do the 100% Otero project and do a mural like Jen was saying, just have it like we do on the Higuera mural, just have it on the side of a building or on one of the streets. And I think that might be the way to go with this particular deal. And I'll continue to try to get the funding for the water tanks. Because that's, I had no idea that it was going to cost that.
You know, another option might be is to post on Facebook and through other multimedia, buy a square foot of painting the tank. That's just an idea, you know, say like the turtle thing down here.
Yeah.
They've brought in a lot of money for that. I don't know what it's all about or if it even works or anything like that. But $5 a square foot, you know, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of people that want to donate for that, you know, and some people want to buy maybe 100 square feet. Just, you know, that's just an idea I'm giving you.
That's a great idea, Trustee Garwood. We have people from outside Tularosa that are constantly posting on the Remembering Tularosa page, Making Tularosa, and they're like, oh, I miss Tularosa. I wish there was some way I could, and they would love something like that. It's a really great idea.
And our local businesses too, you know?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to close with is not this, but I've been told that I cannot water the tanks and the roses anymore without pulling on the side of the road and carrying buckets. And unfortunately, I'm unable to do that because three times a week, 312 buckets of 5-gallon buckets of water. I'm too old for that, and I just can't do it. There's not enough Rusty in the Rusty to do it. So I am supposed to talk to one of the representatives from New Mexico DOT on Friday. I will try to water the newly planted roses tomorrow to keep them alive. But if I'm not able to water the roses, what I'm suggesting is possibly, since I don't have any other options, is just having the citizens, if they would like a rose, have them dig them up, and we'll basically not have roses in the meeting anymore.
Rusty, this probably should be put on another agenda.
Okay.
To talk about this, because I think we have some different ideas. So maybe either the next meeting we have, maybe you can put that on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to do that. I didn't realize this was going to happen, or I would have put it on this agenda. But the problem is, if the roses go more than 4 days without water, they're going to die. So they're going to be dead by the next meeting. So.
Okay. So
Maybe we'll have to do some
Rebecca,
research on
we're
that
having a
with
special
MDOT.
meeting, right? Monday, correct? We're having a special meeting Monday. Get with her.
Okay.
By tomorrow.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the limit, and have yourself put on that special meeting and we can talk about it on Monday. Okay?
Okay. I'll try to keep them alive till then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do for us, Rusty.
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you. We deeply appreciate and are very happy that Rusty lives in our community, and we want to support him every way. I don't want you guys to think we're trying to shoot any of his projects down. We're not. We're absolutely not. That's why I said we need to talk about this, because I think the board has kind of come up with maybe a little bit of a solution to your problem, okay? So, and so we're not making any decision on this, no motion, right? Number 14, Eric Garcia, individual, is asking for an exemption to the RV ordinance to allow him to stay in his RV on his property at 1305 North Bookout Road while he is building his home.
You're not Eric.
I'm not Eric. Nancy will be representing him.
I am Nancy Newdorf. Good evening. I am here representing my cousin, Eric Garcia. He's purchased the property at 1305 North Bookout, and he intends to build a home on that property. I do have a copy of the letter for you guys that he sent me, just to kind of explain what he's trying to do.
You can bring back to Tony.
I'll just go ahead and read the letter so everybody knows what's going on. Trustees, please forgive my absence as I am traveling abroad and am unable to attend personally. However, my cousin Nancy Newdorf has agreed to speak on my behalf. I am planning on building a single-story home that will be stick-built at 900 square feet. It will consist of 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. The home will run east and west, and the main entrance will face south. The dimensions will be 45 feet long and 20 feet deep. I am respectfully asking this board to issue me a permit to build while understanding the structure will comply with all codes and inspected by New Mexico's CID. One last ask is that I be given an exemption to the statute addressing RVs as living quarters. I am asking that my 5th will be a living quarters while the house is being built and water service be allowed after paying all applicable fees. The 5th will is 100% self-contained and will only need to be moved every so often to dump the black water and gray water tanks. I thank you for your time and consideration of these requests. Respectfully, Eric J. Garcia, and then he put his phone number if you have any questions.
So, has planning and zoning looked at this lot at all?
There's been no building permit
Building
application
permit,
turned in
no
yet, so
application
there's
like
no-
that?
yeah.
No, okay. I just want to make sure that the lot's big enough for the house.
In years past, there was a single wide trailer house there. My brother actually lived on that property, but it's been many years, 10 years, maybe more, since there's been anything livable on it. The only thing that he's done to the property so far is cleared it.
Do you know how long it would take him to build his house if he got special permission?
I don't know. I don't know if he plans on hiring a contractor or, if he's gonna do it himself. I'm not sure. So, it's gonna be like a second house for him. His main home is in Albuquerque, but he does visit Tularosa a lot, so when he comes here, he just wants to have something to stay in. That's why it's gonna be such a small, home.
It's a small house. How big is the lot?
Yeah.
That's a big question here, because
Yeah, that's,
even a 900-foot house, if the lot's not big enough, then it's like.
Right, and it is kind of a weird, long lot. I don't have the dimensions, with me.
I think we need more information.
So we would have to ensure that the setbacks are gonna be.
I'm sorry?
the right
Get that
amount.
information for us by Monday for a special meeting?
Yes,
Because we need to know how big the lot is to make sure that it meets the standards.
yes, definitely.
That land is pretty narrow, so we'd just have to ensure the setbacks are correct.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to
Between
make sure it
property
has enough land to it. too.
Yeah, I'm sure the county assessor has all of that, so I can definitely get that and just give it to Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, won't you need to attend the meeting on Monday?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, we could put them on the meeting to come Monday
we need the lot size.
to revisit this.
Yes, we need to revisit this.
Okay. Anything else I need to gather?
Maybe ask, maybe kind of a rough estimate on the timing, how long he's gonna be there,
Okay,
and then just the square footage of the property.
okay.
Does it have a water meter on it already?
I don't know if it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So when he was clearing the property, he hit a water line and they had to come out and they put a new meter and everything, so I do know that that's there.
Is it to the side of that house that's there? Or is it,
Yes, so it's like
On this
right
side?
behind that orange garage that sits on the main street across from the grocery store?
yes,
It's the property, not directly behind it, but right behind the fenced area to that
okay, it's
garage.
behind the old gas station that was right there?
Right,
Okay.
right, yes. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Probably big enough. I don't know which.
There's not a
Just get us a lot size on it, and
I'm sorry,
get us a lot size on it.
the lot size, yes,
Lot
sir.
size, yeah, that way we'll know if it's gonna be big enough. It may be big enough for a single wide trailer, but you gotta meet the setbacks.
Right.
Judging from the picture we're seeing, it's probably gonna qualify, but I wanna make sure of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, so can you get on Monday's agenda? Get with Becca, get on Monday's
Yes.
agenda, we'll
I'll come
get that information from Eric. Yeah.
I'll already put her on.
Okay, thank you.
So we're gonna table this till next meeting.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay. Number 15, Deborah Cooksey, Mayor, is asking to approval for Margie Coates and Flora Leal to keep accrued vacation hours. Actually, what we're gonna do is we'd end up paying out those hours. So make an explanation to the board here. What has happened is that this is, as you guys know, this is our third person. Anna Vigil or Frescas is the person that took over. She's doing everything right by the grants, by the laws for running the senior center. Before she came in, under her grant, they can't accrue vacation time, correct, Rebecca?
Right.
They're not
They're in
allowed.
our SCP's driver program.
Right, and they can't accrue vacation time, but what happened in the past is the other two supervisors let them accrue this, and, they've already gained it. Moving forward, they won't get any more, but they've already have it, and I don't feel like it's fair. They were told they had it, it was on their paycheck, and then all of a sudden it disappears. And moving forward, they won't get any more, but this is from the past. And I think it's not fair to them because they thought they already had it, that we should just go ahead and pay it out and and give it to them. Do you guys understand what I was saying?
I do.
Okay. So that's why I brought it up to the board because, it's no fault of the employee. I just feel like it's something that, they've been good employees that, we should respect what a mistake was done. We need to, honor what has been done.
Yeah, they were accruing part-time vacation hours at 2 hours every 2 weeks. Full-time gets 4, according to how many years they're here. It gets adjusted. But they were accruing 2 sick, 2 vacation. And we weren't aware of the specifics under the SAP driver program until Anna just redid their contract for July 1. She read in it and it said they were only allowed to be accruing 1.87, I think, of sick time every 2 weeks and no vacation because they're paid out of a specific program.
Right.
They're a village employee, but they're paid out of a different program. So they did have vacation time accrued. And so as of July 1, we had to wipe that out because they weren't allowed to. She can't pay them under that program.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so what?
they had already accrued it, so.
If we approve or don't approve, what happens now? They can't accrue any vacation time at all
They'll
from here
only
on
be able
in?
to accrue the 1.87 8/7 sick time every 2 weeks.
So what you're saying is they just want what was owed to them under, from the
basically.
past two directors that were there?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we looking at? How many?
Yeah, they each have like 45 hours.
Oh, no, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but they can't accrue any at all?
No. There's a contract that they signed, it says in the contract, so they're aware of that now.
They are aware of
But
it
I don't
now.
think it was explained to them by the previous directors, and it wasn't told to us at the village. So they were just accruing part-time sick and vacation hours like every part-time that works here.
I'll motion
Jeff,
to
is that,
approve.
okay. I was gonna ask Jeff if that's okay.
Up to you. You guys are the board to pay them.
We can pay them if we want.
Okay, let's do it, motion. Second it.
Okay, go ahead, Mark, say it
Did I
again.
have a,
I'll motion to approve
I'll second.
number 15.
okay,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And you'll get them paid out?
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Number 16, Peter Kaufman, individual, is asking to connect to the village water system. Hello, how are you?
Just fine, thank you. Yes, it's, my request is fairly straightforward. My property at 55 South Bookout Road, the Tularosa Distillery. I would respectfully ask to connect to the village water system. My understanding is that there's a 2 or 3 inch main that runs along Bookout Road, the length of my property, and I would love to have water from the village there.
Okay.
So,
I went and looked at it today and there is a meter there, but my question is, are you gonna be tying into any water system that's from the groundwater, a well? Or is it gonna be an
If I do that, it
independent
would
line?
just be for irrigation purposes only. And I don't plan to use any village water for any type of irrigation on the property, including potted plants and that kind of thing. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, you made that comment on.
Yes, I saw that on your list here, you know. Be aware that we will know if you're overwatering, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
And at that point, you're breaking that contract with, or trust with us that you put in writing here that you were not gonna use it more, just for
Yeah,
flushing the toilets, washing and all that.
Yeah, I've been working up with a water engineer for the past 9-10 months or so, and our projections we're comfortable with that we would use about 600 gallons per day.
Okay.
And just to give you a scope of what that is, a typical household uses about 400 gallons per day.
And you're responsible for all of the hookups and everything else?
Yes,
You're
of
running,
course.
you're running the lines and everything?
Yes.
That will be your responsibility?
Yes.
And there's a fee for hooking up, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. Just to make certain that we know that you're not going to use it for anything but washing your hands, flushing toilets, stuff like that. No irrigation, no watering plants, none of that.
That's correct.
Okay. See you guys.
Motion to approve.
Okay, well.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you,
It's going
Peter.
to be a big help to our business.
Peter, you also bought, Peter, did you also buy the old bank building as well? Is that you?
Yeah, we've leased the old bank building, yes.
You're investing in Tularosa then, huh?
Yes,
Super, thank you.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a great shop. Yeah, we invite everybody to stop in, and my wife has worked extremely hard on curating some nice gifts and greeting cards and that kind of thing. It's
Fantastic, great. Glad to have you, glad to have you in Tularosa, Peter. Thank you.
all right.
Thank you. Any old business? Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Good.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, trustees. Just a quick synopsis, go over our projects and where they are. We're about 50-50 today as far as good and bad. So probably the first one is our Willow, Hunter, and Santa Fe repaving project. So you awarded that last month. That award went out to La Luz Dirt and Paving. So he has about 2 weeks to put his bonds and insurance together. We'll set up a pre-con and he'll start after that. So construction will be imminent. Now that it's been awarded, La Luz Dirt and Paving has been done outstanding for the village, and we're really happy to see that they were low bid on that project. On Eloise Circle, we have come up with a problem with access to that site. So that's a development, that Stognan development has gone in over several iterations of plats and replats, much like what you were looking at today, just replatting, and through that process, the actual drive access to Eloise Circle is only emergency access, only off of Wildcat Turf. That's not a legitimate access to that subdivision. The access is supposed to be off of 54, how it loops around, i.e. the name Eloise Circle. So when we go to pave Eloise Circle, we don't have anywhere to tie into. We could only pave a street. So we're looking at other options that we could get that tied in with a legitimate entrance and exit, not an emergency entrance and exit. Because if you know on Wildcat Turf, it makes that turn and you have the weird angle that goes off, and that's just not a safe access for the subdivision.
Right there in front of the tree that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just kind of start the turn and then veer off, and that's where the mailbox is, everything's there, but that's not correct. It's not right for the village, not good for the village. So we're looking at where we could tie in correctly Eloise Circle. And
What about La Luz?
Yeah, it would have to be La Luz or 54.
54.
So I know Gilbert Gonzalez lives on that one lot. We were looking at maybe beside that to try to get out. So we're looking at some different options. So with that said, we are requesting from DOT an extension on the construction time. So, and I put that letter together along with the resolution requesting that extension for your Monday meeting on the 26th. So that's what that's for, is just so that we can figure out the correct access to that property. It should have been done 20 years ago or more, but it has just continued. And then now after we did the survey, that's when it came up that that wasn't a legal access. So we're working through that. Then the community center splash pad, we finally got the design from Creative Recreational Designs Vortex, and we got that at the end of July. So now that we have their design, then our engineers could get back on it and finish it up. So, but they were like 3 months out on their design, so we had to get their info. So that one, finally, as of the end of July, we got it straightened out. And then,
David, when do you think we'll be able to break ground on that?
pardon me?
When do you think we'll be able to break ground on that?
It's gonna be in the winter. I'm not sure what the lead time is for the equipment, for the Vortex equipment, but we should be out to bid by the middle of September, which means then they'll be under contract by October. And they may break ground, but it's all depending on when that equipment comes in. But we've got to be done by June 30, 2025. That's the deadline, so it's going to be done before then. It's just, we weren't counting on CRD to be so far out on their design.
I think
We
the
got that.
trustees and myself are tired of people saying, what'd you guys do, steal the money for the splash pad?
I know, we weren't even planning on it, just happened to get the money. So.
We're just lucky that Rebecca got that for us.
Right. So as far as the wastewater treatment plant headworks project, that one, we did open bids. Morrow Construction's the low. They're another outstanding contractor. We have a lot of confidence in them. We'll be making that a recommendation for the Monday meeting as well. As soon as we get the approval on that, we'll issue the notice of award, and same thing, they have 2 weeks. We'll set up their pre-con and they could get to work. That one's set up that we do the headworks first, and then the repairs to the lift station. Right now, there's enough money to do both, but according to NMED, and it's the smart thing to do, is we keep contingencies out on, we have a 10% contingency, so we're holding contingencies back until we get further in construction so we could award the work on the lift station. So, because we have it broke out in two pieces. So we'll get started on the headworks, and then when looks like it's going pretty smooth and no problems, then we can use the contingency to get the lift station fixed. Then, so that's coming on Monday. Then so the supplemental water source, that one, as you know, you've got about 5.16 million for that project right now. We have the 315,000 from Colonias for design that has to be finished by December 2025. And that design will be, with that money, I'm not sure if you could get everything, but we've already talked to NEBD saying we may not get the well, the transmission line, the RO system up by the tank site for 5 million. So depending, he said it's okay if we get the well, the transmission line, and get started on the RO system, and then try to get another couple million to finish the RO system. This is going to be a huge system. So get that RO system, and then, because we're going to pump directly into the tanks with treated water, so you have groundwater and surface water blended in your tanks and then sent down. So that's where we are with that one. The initial study was done. We're doing the design analysis for the RO system and to find out how much clean water we could produce from the Montezuma well. So that's where we are now, and that one's moving forward. But like I said, 5.16 million, it's looking good, and we're getting there, and it's just gonna take, well, at least a year to get done with the design, and then hopefully construction in 25 and, well, 25 and 26 and probably into 27. So get all these funding. So speaking about, talking about the tanks up there at the tank site, I know you were looking at some of the paint, the coating prices for those tanks, and he was saying 700,000. Yeah, that's kind of high, but 150 to 300,000 is about the price for coating tanks. It's not just like painting a wall. They do have to bead blast it down, get it down to bare metal. There's lots of requirements that go into that. So I would suggest that if you are going to do a mural or logo or anything like that, get your tanks done separately using state clean water revolving loan funds or get some grant funds, because it is going to take 150 to 300,000 to paint those two tanks. And it's just a lot of work that goes into it. And then come back, once they're painted, you could do whatever you want with it. Put your logos or murals or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of a more complex issue than just painting. They have certain requirements that they have to meet, because potable water, and the village is just not going to have funding for something like that. So it's something to get on your radar, to start applying for funding to get your tanks painted. I think you got them, those tanks, they dove the tanks in probably, I don't know. You know when they dove the tanks? No, dove them. They dive them and check. So they have to dive and check the interior. So you get that. So it may be, you really can't do it now, but by the time you get the RO system, you should have enough flow going from your surface water and your groundwater to maintain your system and take one tank out of service and do the repairs on that tank, then transfer the flows over to that one and do the repairs on the other. Because they're both going to need repairs on the inside, and the inside coating is probably twice as expensive as the outside coatings. So it's probably a good $1 million just in coatings on the tank. So just something to get on your radar, to get the outside coated and then work on the inside.
You mentioned those grant companies?
Yeah, there's, NEBD, they have the state revolving loan fund, they have different grants. And it would just be a Colonias or Water Trust Board or state appropriations or capital outlay, all of those will cover coatings. Because they're so expensive, like any municipality.
Should we put this on our ISIP list?
Pardon me?
Should we put this on our ISIP?
It probably is under water system improvements as general.
The general, okay, it'll fall
Yeah,
into that
because if you
category?
get those nailed down too close, they don't give you any wiggle room to do
Yeah.
different things.
Too specific.
So yeah, you could figure, 5 to 7 million on your water system and then start looking forward to another 2 million on the tanks, and it just continues. Same with the treatment plant. So that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Just go over that supplemental water source one more time very quickly, okay?
So the supplemental water source, the
Montezuma.
study is right now is to drill a new well at Montezuma site. We may need some more to purchase some more property from the Oteros that own that strip, just so that you could get a drilling rig in there with their pipe trailer and their mud pit and everything, just to drill the well. So we drill a new well because that existing well is too old to depend on. So we would just keep the water rights. It would be the same well. You'd have the same water rights. And then a transmission line from there all the way up Old Mescalero. And I believe it's Brittany that runs across. And then under the highway and tie into the main line at the fire station, and then build a RO plant at the fire station.
Good.
On that 10 acres that you already have. And then that RO plant would feed your tanks. And then the second phase of that is to drill another well at where you have the brine and the backwash water from the surface water plant. Drill another well next to that pond and basically take that pond water back out and run it through the RO system and use it again. Because it's just wasted now. It percolates and evaporates. So that's the big view. So what we're working on is to get technically the calculations that make all that doable. It's kind of, we could think of it in our head, but we have to go through all the calculations, the math to see if it would actually work, and the dollars. So it is a long project, but you're $5 million ahead of it, and that's what we're pushing for, is to get that and then just keep moving. To ultimately, so you have surface water and groundwater that you could use, and you have some kind of backup.
Yeah.
Because right now you just don't have it.
That should increase our water quality here through the RO system.
The RO probably, because then we'll blend it with the surface water, which surface water, the Tule Creek's better than your groundwater. You can't even drink your groundwater.
No.
So with that blending, yeah, it should get better on your quality, not in your hardness. The hardness is what it is. We can't change that unless we call Culligan or something.
Okay.
So any other questions on your projects?
No, thanks, Dave. That was a great rundown.
Thank you,
So
David.
we'll see you Monday and we'll go over those that we need to.
Okay,
Okay, thank you, David. Is there any other old business?
No.
Or is there any new business?
Thanks.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
So abruptly?